Hi.
Hello. Chag Sameach.
Chag Sameach.
Chag Sameach.
Hi, everyone.
So welcome to Breaking Matzah's first virtual Seder Instagram Live.
Yeah.
And I have no idea if it's going to work, but what I want to do is first introduce my daughter Caroline.
Hi, everyone.
And her boyfriend Quincy.
Hello.
My younger daughter Lucy.
Hi.
And here we are. And so I also want to thank all of you for coming tonight. And I'm incredibly grateful that you would take time to be here. And I'm incredibly grateful to my team for putting this together. I want to first acknowledge that we're in a very, very difficult moment, and many of you, many of us, all of us, some of us, know someone who's suffering in some way in this circumstance. So with that, you have my heart and my prayers, and all we're looking to do is for 15 minutes celebrate Passover. It started with a guy named Moses, and here we are today. And everything is the same, and also everything's very different. So first, I'd like to say a prayer. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, shechianu v'higanu v'higanu v'slas b'azeh. Blessed art thou, Lord God, King of the universe, who brings us this happy first-time moment. And a shechianu is only happy first-time moments, not sad, not routine. You have a happy first-time moment with a sense of adventure. You mark the moment, then you express gratitude. The other thing is there's 613 mitzvot, 248 do's, 365 don'ts, 248 bones of the body, 365 days of the week. If you do 0, not sufficient, 613, obsessive compulsive. So maybe I do maybe around 200. This Passover, if you do one thing, eat one piece of matzah, or have one or anything, even just doing this, mitzvah done. So all the rules are reestablished this year. So why are we here? Caroline, why are you here for Passover?
Well, I guess we're here, like we said, to celebrate Passover and the story of the Israelites escaping Egypt and slavery and finding freedom, and also to talk about how that story applies to us today.
Lucy, why are you here?
I'm here to enjoy a break from quarantine studies, to enjoy time with my family.
Quincy, enough about you. Would you like to ask me why I'm here?
Why are you here?
I'm here for...
That I can tell you in one word. Tradition! Tradition! Tradition!
So I'm here for tradition. And this tradition started with Moses celebrating the first Seder thousands of years ago, and here we are today. And someone asked me a couple weeks ago, are you still going to celebrate Passover? I said, listen, it's been biblically based for thousands of years. We're not letting a little plague go on. And in the context of this 15 minutes, I'll have a different tone. I don't want to appear tone deaf. But anyway, sometimes I am. So here we are. What's Passover about? The Seder plate. Just Lucy, Caroline, tell us what's on the Seder plate. We've got to explain it.
One thing we like to have that sticks out is that we have an orange to represent a woman's place in the temple as a rabbi, because many years ago someone said that a woman would be a rabbi when there was an orange on the Seder plate, sarcastically, and to show them they were wrong. We both have women as rabbis and oranges on our Seder plate.
Exactly. And then we also have an egg to signify the spring and new beginnings that come in springtime, and the bitter herbs to signify the bitterness of slavery and tears. Anything else?
Just hit all of them, maybe.
We also have the parsley, the greens, also for springtime, and the horseradish.
And haroset.
And the haroset, which is more about the
sweetness.
How many?
And also the mortar.
How many harosets do we like to make for Passover?
10.
We do like to add a new one each year.
Yeah, we just made a new one, but today we've only made 3.
Do you want to show them the one we made yesterday?
Sure. The one that we made yesterday was called Curacao Haroset. You can go and find the recipe. This is the Curacao Haroset. They are little date balls, and they were really fun to make and really easy.
So basically, we like on Breaking Matzah to celebrate people of all these flavors sharing a common purpose. So we have international haroset from Yemen, Morocco, India, China, Italy, Spain, on, and it's fun to celebrate people around the world, and that's one of the things we do. So, what do we, oh my gosh, we still have plenty of time. We have plenty of time. So before we do anything, Quincy, would you be my AV specialist and show page 1?
Step 1. Stop.
It's a moment to stop. We're going to do it for 10 seconds. Here we're in sacred space together. Why are we here? We talked about, would you show us page 4 with our family?
Yep.
So that's my family's first Seder that I have a photo of from 1930 in Dachau, Poland. Multi-generational celebration. And for that, it's a, thank you, this is one of the first times in Jewish history that we have not had multi-generational celebration. So we're trying to make Jewish history tonight. We're trying to get the youngest at the table to sing the 4 questions. Usually it's around someone who's maybe 8 or 9. And tonight, people in their 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s.
Even 100.
Even 100. Our oldest Breaking Matzah Instagram fan is 104. Anyway, well, let's sing the 4 questions and make Jewish history. So we'll sing them on page 49, just the first and the last in the interest of time. Ma nishtana halayla hazeh mikol halelot. Mikol halelot. Last one, bar. Shebachol halelot. Anu achlein ben yoshvinu ben misubim. Ben yoshvinu ben misubim. Halayla zeh kulanu misubim. So we just did the 4 questions. Now we'll tell the story. And the story of Passover in, how much time do we have? 15 years, 15 months, 15 days. We have 15 minutes. We've already used 7 of them. So Passover in 3 minutes or less is matzah, which means
Basics.
the basics to drain out. It's literally flour, water, salt, and oil. It is the basics, the essence of any type of bread type substance. If you get to sufgan yot and challah, you have the egg and the flour and the yeast and the jelly. So Passover is about identifying the basics, which clearly in this environment we see with even new lens. And as you go through Passover, the next week you'll start eating those donuts and the pizza and all that sort of stuff, which is leaven. Similarly, ourselves, by identifying with the basics, we speak to our spiritual foundation. And as we go over this week, we fill ourselves with renewed understanding and expand ourselves as we expand our food. Is there anything that someone has learned in identifying a basic during these crazy quarantine times?
Yeah, I mean, I think that we've all kind of experienced the basics that matter to us, mostly friends and family and the relationships and people that make our lives full of meaning and happiness. So that's kind of good to realize.
So matzah, the second is Pesach. Lucy, can you get us the shank bone? This represents the lamb, which we Pesach sacrifice during Passover, and by slaying and sacrificing the lamb, they put the blood on the lintel. The angel of death passed over. Passover, Pesach. You can't escape slavery and reach freedom unless you understand the basics of what the basics and know what the extras are to give up. You can't reach freedom if you're not prepared to sacrifice. This has been an environment of sacrifice. Lucy, have you had any sacrifices during these times?
Yeah, I think that's something I was discussing earlier with you guys, was just the idea that, so I'm a college student, and obviously I'm used to being in classes at school and being with all my friends and peers, and I've had to kind of sacrifice being in the classroom and communal learning in order to kind of help the country and the world and everyone that I care about remain safe. So I think that we've all had to sacrifice the aspects of our lives that are, we live with other people and in communities in order to better position the whole country to maintain their health. So I think that we're all making sacrifices for the greater good of, everyone's health and safety. So that's something that.
So matzah, Pesach sacrifice, the basics sacrifice. The last is maror, the bitterness. And ironically, slavery can be sweet, and that's one of the interpretations of why we have haroset, because people can endure because they're inured. And it's not to you that sense of bitterness, both with your palate and your philosophy, and then with your body. And when you have that sense of bitterness, then you're able to say, hey, I'm going to leave something. Is there something that you've been bitter about, Quincy, that has helped you be a catalyst to leave that suffering?
Yeah, I think that right now we're all experiencing a deep amount of bitterness, and on an individual level and a collective level. And I think if something good is going to come out of this, it'll come from us reflecting on what's really important, what we value, the basics that we took for granted, like our own health, and how we can do better moving forward, both as individuals and as a collective that takes care of everyone.
So we hit those topics. We should talk about the 10 plagues.
10 plagues.
10 plagues.
Maybe this year there's an 11th?
That's a good point. Unfortunately, we now have the 11th plague, a plague on our planet. We're all impacted about it. It's certainly poetic in a sense that it's on Passover, and because that is part of the journey that we're all here together working on in persevering. We also have, we talked about the Haroset, and I think that maybe quick magic trick. We talked about, yeah. So basically, quick magic trick, this is the afikomen, and look at these pieces of matzah, ordinary.
Totally normal.
Totally ordinary. I'm going to take the middle piece of matzah here and put these back here. 1, 2, 3, abracadabra. I create as I speak. It's a little bit of Hebrew. And look at that.
Whoa!
I literally just created the afikomen. I turned an ordinary piece of matzah into an extraordinary piece of matzah. And what that is a metaphor for, there are no real superheroes. There are just super people. Ordinary people doing something extraordinary. The afikomen, we hide. Every year, I never found it. Usually Lucy finds it. Lucy, do you want to find it?
I found it.
Yahoo! She gets a little break matzah coin.
Woohoo!
There we go. So I think we did a pretty good job. Quincy poured some wine. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei pri hagafa, and blessed thou Lord God, King of the universe, who gives us this festival, celebratory wine that came from suffering. We're in the midst of suffering. Let's celebrate. We have 4 glasses, 4 people simultaneously. Okay. The last thing we should do is Elijah. Can you pour a little wine for Elijah?
Yep.
And thank you. Before we open the door, this is our ritual hand washer. It's been in my family since the 1880s. Wash your hands twice, 2 bodies of water, as we go from Egypt to the wilderness to the promised land. This has been in my family for over 100 years. Since 1880, it's even much more than 100 years. And that's really a connection that I have with all of us together. Wow, that was beautiful. I think we should talk about Elijah. He is the prophet that has never left. Never left, and maybe we should see. Can you guys see at the door? Open the door for Elijah.
I
Let's
wonder
go
if there's
see.
anyone
We'll
at the
take a
door.
look.
So we check to see if there's someone out there. Elijah.
All right, I think I see some guests.
These are all Elijah.
Anyway, that was just a little bit of fun, a little bit of Hava Nagila. We hope that you enjoyed this journey from slavery to wandering in the wilderness to freedom in the promised land. And with that, we say next year in Jerusalem.
Next year in Jerusalem.
Chag Sameach.
Chag
Chag Sameach. Chag Sameach.
Sameach.
Chag Sameach.